when you watch the interview, Jaylen Brown is he's very direct in saying that his issue wasn't with Stephen A. Smith. His issue wasn't even with necessarily the context of what they were saying, I don't think. It was the fact that this person said, quote unquote, it's it's just that he's not liked because of his I am better than you attitude, and he knows it. See, that's personal. It wasn't as if this person said, oh, Jaylen Brown may have rubbed some executives or people in power the wrong way. That's why he's not able to get some of these awards or some of these looks. He said it's because of his I am better than you attitude. That's why in the interview, Jaylen Brown says this man attacked my character. He didn't just say that people didn't like me or people don't like me. He said I'm not marketable, called me arrogant because of the way that he carries himself. And so I totally get where Jaylen Brown is coming from. He needs to defend himself because clearly nobody is, right? And so in that respect, I think it was great that he checked Stephen A. Smith because he didn't have to read that. He didn't, right? He didn't have to read that. He could have reworded it or just not say it at all. And something really important that Jaylen Brown had mentioned in the interview was the fact that when you have someone that's an unnamed source, this masked person on the internet that no one knows who this person is, right? At least when Stephen A. Smith says something, a player can go on the show. A player could call him, could text him. You know who you can get to. But when it's an unnamed source, it's someone that can say pretty much anything with no ramification. And that's where Jaylen Brown has an issue with this whole situation. And like I said, I get it. Right? I get him because he's is very valid in that. And now to tackle the context of what this person said, because during the interview, Jaylen Brown in a way agreed, right? That he understands that the way that he is trying to create different foundations, Black Wall Street, all his initiatives in Boston to get kids to MIT. He does a lot in the community, and he's very outspoken. And so he spoke about understanding that. And, you know, this goes back to his tweet at Nike, right? With the Kyrie Irving situation. It says, when did y'all care about ethics? The Olympics this year, right? He was at Nike. He even said on the interview, right? If I have to sign with Nike to be in the Olympics, then I'm going to pass. And so now we have this person who has not only taken offense to everything that's happened to him in his career at this point. But now he's trying to battle the system. He has his own shoe brand that's coming out. He spoke about when you work with some of these companies or with these major companies, the fact that you don't have the freedom to dictate the direction of your brand. You don't have that creativity. And that goes hand in hand with the report of him turning down up to $50 million in endorsement deals from sneaker companies. One probably being Nike. So this is really a Jaylen Brown Nike problem, right? He doesn't agree with the way that they conduct business, right? He also spoke on the interview about sneaker companies have too much power in this space. It's about what sneaker company are you going to align with. And it's much less about developing the younger players to be better basketball players. And that alludes to this Nike system and the fact that they are the overarching figure in USA basketball. And when you read this morning or a couple days ago, right, that Nike is going to remain the NBA's exclusive uniform apparel provider on a new 12-year contract extension. And by the way, it's not just jerseys. It's content. It's a bunch of other things. And you could say that don't mean anything, but again, it points to a major company that has a lot of influence in a sport that's supposed to be pure, right? We look at sports as the thing that's supposed to be as competitive and as real as it could be, right? It's not the WWE. Sounds like we were cooked. And I think the reality about Nike is they've lost a little bit of their influence in this space over the last, call it, decade. Steph Curry has come out to be one of the most popular sneakers since he's become popular. You have now an Anthony Edwards on Adidas that has it's widely regarded as the number one signature shoe. In terms of their up and coming stars, I mean, who does Nike have? You know, LeBron is older, KD is older. Who is that next person in line? Even Jordan Brand is not doing great. And we've talked about the fact that when it comes to running and the rise and popularity of running in the last couple of years, Nike isn't at the forefront of that. That's why a couple of days ago I started seeing Nike ads of all different types of athletes running. All basketball players, tennis players. It was all in a Nike ad. It wasn't even a running ad. It was just a Nike ad, and they were just all running and running shorts, running gear. I was like, okay, I see what's happening. when you look at the casual wear space, they're not leading that either. You got Asics, you know, Saucony is coming up. You got all these different brands, Solomon's, all these different brands now. So I think that Nike has been feeling the pressure. Their Jordans don't sell like it used to. They haven't made a new model that's dope. It's all about recycling what they've already recycled over the last 30 some odd years. And then on top of all of that, you have this figure in Jaylen Brown that's calling you on your bullshit. And I think that that's what's happening. I remember over the playoffs, I said, man, if Anthony Edwards really want to take this face of the league thing, he's going to have to sign with Nike, because that's just the reality of the situation.